and welcome to this week's episode of the Sharing Club with me, Danielle.
And me, Natalie. Hello.
Hope you're all doing well. This week it's probably going to be a little bit shorter. It's just a quick update on where we're up to, what's happening with the Sharing Club. Going to go back to the other week and the launch event we were planning on why we unfortunately had to make the decision to cancel it at the last minute.
Yep. So where should we start?
Maybe catch up with us, because that might play nicely into part of the reason why we cancelled, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'm awaiting surgery, but I haven't got a date yet. So they basically said that it's either going to be the very beginning of June or September. The reason being I've got a holiday booked and obviously I won't be fit to fly. So I'm kind of like hoping it's going to be September now, because I don't know. I just feel that going away with a new stoma, I'm a bit nervous. That's me.
But also, the later it goes on, you're not going to have the recovery time that you need either, are you?
No, and also that's only if everything goes completely smoothly. You know, we might have some hiccups along the way. Hopefully not, but you never know, do you? So that's at the minute, it's driving me mad, because I feel that I can't plan anything. It's like, you know, people keep saying, oh, especially with the choir, like lots of dates and lots of things that I want to do, but I'm just scared to commit because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So
it's really hard.
Then obviously I am struggling at the moment with my health. I've got really bad kidney pain that's, I was gonna say, come out of nowhere, but it's not come out of nowhere. It's become more frequent.
I'm guessing because your kidney's not working properly. You've got such limited function in it now. The pain's going to get worse, isn't it? You're going to get more symptoms.
Yeah, it's really bad actually. And at night, it's affecting my sleep. I mean, I'm sleeping, but it wakes me up quite a few times during the night, and then throughout the day, it's like a nagging, throbbing pain, but it's there, and I'm constantly aware of it. So that's bothering me, and then I'm suffering with really bad headaches for a change.
That impacts your mental health, doesn't it? And also,
I feel a bit fed up at the moment.
I think that's understandable. You've had a lot of hospital appointments. You know, they broke down the surgery for you, and how
scary,
how big it's going to be. Yeah, it is scary. It's overwhelming, and that impacts your mental health. You sort of become extremely overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I knew it would be a long operation, but I think when they said it was 12 hours, I was a bit taken aback. I don't know why
that is it. It reminds you of the programme, doesn't it, on BBC Two, Surgeons at the Edge of Life, where they're doing major operations at a mammoth in length, and you just think, that's me, isn't it? And it's really scary.
And I've had operations before, but I've never been put to sleep for that length of time.
No, it's a long time.
I'm a bit worried.
And I think it wouldn't be normal if you weren't worried, to be fair. And it's going to have an impact, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just the fear of the unknown, but I'll be fine. I'll get there.
Listen, all you can do is take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and see what happens. So you've had quite an impacted few weeks with it already.
It's been busy. And I have my MRI scans as well, which they've said it'll be 6 weeks till they look at. Is that much of a backlog, apparently?
Okay, then.
So, because my dad was like, oh, no news is good news. I said, well, not really, because they've not been looked at yet, which I know, because I was told, like, it will not be looked at for 6 weeks, obviously. I'd like to think if there was something really bad, then
they must have to take a glance at it to make sure nothing.
They probably look and make sure there's no like obvious tumour or something, and then go, right, well, we'll deal with it.
Go in the non-urgent pile or whatever. They must triage the results.
I'd like to think so, wouldn't you? On saying that, I was supposed to have this scan last September as urgent.
Really scary, isn't it?
But anyway.
We'll not discuss the benefits or negatives of the NHS, because
there's some amazing things.
And also, like I said in previous podcasts, I've gone down a rabbit hole of auction reaction videos, and when you listen to how bad the healthcare system is in America and how much they have to pay for it, like, I would rather have the NHS.
Yeah, me too.
Any day of the week.
I wouldn't be able to have this operation in America.
No, people, you know, I was watching a thing and they're going into financial debt. They're having to set up GoFundMe pages to be able to afford to buy things like insulin.
That's terrible.
And asthma medication, because it is so expensive. It's something like £200 a prescription for insulin. That here, it's exempt even in England on prescription, and they're being charged over $200 a time for just basic meds.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like, yeah,
it's worrying.
But anyway, doing it again, going off topic.
So the event.
Yeah, so that brings, obviously Nat's had her issues. I've not been too bad for the past few weeks mentally.
You're doing okay?
It's up and down.
Yeah.
I've got a different job, so just getting into the swing of things with that, which hopefully will help with a lot. Take some pressure away. Still do this, so obviously it doesn't impact on this. But yeah, and that really brings us to the event and why we ended up cancelling it at very short notice, and how we're going to go forward. So obviously you just had your appointments, hadn't you?
Yeah, I'd had a right week.
You were really struggling. We had talk group and it was extremely quiet.
Yeah.
And you really you'd fainted that day, hadn't you?
Yeah. It just been, I don't know, all sorts going on with my health, and then feeling overwhelmed with appointments back and forth. It was just a bit of everything. And then there was the event, we weren't sure about who was going to come.
Yeah, it seemed like no one had committed, and it clashed with Prestwich Clough Day, a few other things. The weather was obviously very, very warm.
Yeah.
Our guest speakers, through no fault of their own, obviously had to cancel at last minute due to health issues and various things, for which, don't blame them.
No.
At the end of the day, their reasons for cancelling 100% took priority.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have wanted people to turn up and not have the things that we advertised there for them. It would have felt wrong.
Yeah.
And
also because we didn't have any set times of what time, there's a couple of people had told us they were coming, but we didn't know what time they were coming.
No.
And it was such a long day.
Yeah.
There was just too many factors against it, really.
That all seemed to come together at the last minute.
Yeah.
And it was a really difficult decision. Well, it was the right decision, I think, to cancel it, because ultimately, when we look back and we think about the event and what we want, it was meant to be a party, a launch party, and it seemed to, I don't know, get a little bit diverted from what we originally wanted.
Yeah. It was going to be, we wanted a party, and it was going to kind of end up being a bit more of a...
It became a bit more formal, didn't it?
Yeah,
structured.
With loads of talks, and I don't know whether that's what people want. I don't know.
I don't think I want it. So going forward, we need to set a date, but it's not going to have a charge to it, which I think might have put people off as well, because we're a social enterprise and we're not really about charging people. What we will do is have a raffle, and we'll ask for £1 a ticket.
Yeah.
Donation for charity. So we would appreciate if everyone comes, everyone can afford £1.
Yeah.
To do that, that would be great. But it's going to be by invite only. So we're going to invite friends, family, local businesses. Me and Nat will have a chat, a talk about what we're about, explain everything. There's going to be some food, some drinks, some wine. We're going to do it just for a couple of hours. It's going to be in an evening instead of during the day. Have some background music, lots of balloons. It's going to be an actual launch party.
Yeah.
Not an event with loads of speakers and set times or anything. It's going to be much more relaxed, much more informal.
A bit fun as well.
A bit of fun, yeah. And like the people who are going to come and talk, I know one of them has said they'll come to that, and we'll say that they're there. And if anybody wants to go up and chat to them informally about what they offer can help, fine, you go and do that in an informal manner. They don't have to stand up and talk in front of a crowd of people.
Yeah. And if you come and you can ask us, and we can kind of signpost you over and go, you need to speak to such body over there, they'll help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do that.
And if you want to come and you want to bring friends or family, members, just let us know, so we've got an idea of numbers. Obviously, we're possibly going to have to use a new venue, so we'll let you know room sizes. We're just trying to work out dates, but we are going to hand out proper invitations, and it is going to have an RSVP on it.
Yeah.
With the idea that people do let us know yes or no by a certain date, and if by that date we're not getting any interest, then it won't go ahead, because I don't have the time or the money to start making food and buying stuff in for people not to turn up, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is 100% true. Yeah,
we're here to help people, and we try to do it and keep it cost as low as possible for you guys, so that you can benefit from the services.
Yeah.
And obviously if it's impacting me, then as well.
Yeah, we can't have that.
No.
But yeah, so please support us when we give you the new date. If you get invited to the event, then please come. It'd be nice.
We'd love to see you there, and to be able to talk to you about it actually in the same room as opposed to over a screen.
Yeah.
I think it's always good to chat, isn't it? And to have a bit of fun, a bit of music, and a social event. Summer's coming, the nights are lighter, a lot longer. Perfect time to go out. It's not dark and miserable and cold. Although, what is it, 3 weeks, 4 weeks till the longest day of the year, and the clocks start?
Yeah, that's
Nights
scary,
start drawing
actually.
in.
Where's the year gone?
21st of June, it's like less than a month, and they'll start drawing in again. So we need to get it in while we've got nice light nights.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, let's have a bit of a party and something positive and a bit of fun.
Yeah. And you can give us your feedback as well and let us know, the kind of things you want to have going forward that we can put in place.
Yeah, maybe we can create some like feedback forms.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. And then you can just
You
write
don't have to put
down,
your name on it. It can be anonymous.
and you can just put on like anything you want to see in the future, whatever that may be, or
Yeah.
even podcast suggestions.
Yeah, we're always up for a good podcast suggestion.
Yeah.
New ideas, things we can discuss, things we can talk about. If you want more humour, less humour, if we think we talk rubbish, go off on a tangent too much.
If you think I laugh too much.
I think people actually enjoy it when we laugh.
I hope so.
Well, we've had feedback that people enjoy that. I think it makes us human, doesn't it? Imagine if you didn't laugh on some of the subjects we've covered.
Oh.
We're here to try and help people, not encourage them to slit their wrists at the end of the day.
That's very true. That is true.
Just saying it as it is, keep it real.
So yeah. Oh, and if you mind you, actually no, scrap that. I was going to say if you've got any venue ideas, but by the time this goes out, we might have already booked a venue. So yeah, maybe not. But you can still come up with ideas because you never know. We might be able to use them in the future for something.
Definitely, we've got a few ideas of venues.
Yeah.
It's just working out costs, obviously.
Yeah.
And and that's the other reason to have an RSVP on it and why we need numbers, because if we change venues, it isn't going to be free and that is going to cost us, and they will probably want a deposit, which we will lose if we cancel them.
Yeah.
Just can't afford to be.
No. So it's not asking much, is it? Just to say whether you're coming or not.
Yeah, it takes like half a second to reply.
Yeah.
So
and don't say yes if it's a no.
Yeah, don't say it if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to turn up.
I'll just say yeah, but I'm really not going to go. Please
Yeah,
don't do that.
because it's
Just
the same
Just be
thing.
honest.
Yeah, that's what we're about being authentic and genuine and honest.
Yeah.
And that has to follow through, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean, I'm sure we've all done it in the past. I think I'm probably guilty of that in the past where I've gone, yeah.
But how much of that with you is not that you've got no intention of going, but it's your health issues.
Well, it is that. It is
Yeah,
that. And then
but
it's got nearer the time or on the day and I've just not been well enough to go.
so that's different. You had every intention of going when you've said yes.
Well, yeah.
And I think also a lot of the time you will caveat that yes and go, yes, if I'm well enough, yes, if.
Yeah, I have started being a lot more honest about that, because in the past I'd just say yeah and it'd get near the day and I won't be fit to go, where now I do use if I'm well enough, I will be there. And if it's a no for whatever reason, because it doesn't work for me, I'm just like, well, no, I can't go.
Yeah, what's the point in saying yes if you can't do something?
Yeah.
Because at some point you're then going to have to say no anyway, I can't make it. So why?
And it's harder.
It's harder. And also it's at the back of your mind thinking, oh, I'm still going to have to say no when I could have just said it in the first place and saved myself a whole.
Yeah. So if you can't come, just say no. Wasn't
Anyway.
that an old song from Grange Hill, just say no about drugs? Just came in my head.
Quite possibly.
Oh,
Well, a very valid point. Do say no to drugs.
yeah.
Unless the prescription ones.
Don't do drugs, kids. And adults.
And adults.
And aliens and whatever you are. Whatever you identify as.
Let's not go down that road. That's a whole different topic for a whole different social enterprise than us. We cover enough subjects without getting onto gender.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get into that.
No, we really don't. We have enough to contend with and help people with. And if you've got any ideas, it's the same thing. Any ideas for the event or the party? But again,
this is probably going to go out.
But
it might not. It might not.
I don't think the event will have happened by the time this goes out.
No. So yeah. So you've got any ideas, like for the party? But what I was going to say is, talking about gender, that might be an interesting podcast talk. If somebody we know or somebody can come on if they've struggled with gender identity or whether it's, sexuality. I bet these people who have really struggled, growing up.
Impacted the mental health.
Yeah, that would be a really good topic.
There's loads of people like Ollie Mers, not Ollie Mers, Ollie Alexander from Years and Years.
Yeah.
He's always been very open about how, and I know people who kids have.
It would be a very interesting chat, that. I mean, it's not something that I'm personally, I've obviously not been through that myself, but it would be a really good conversation to have. So I'm sure a lot of people would
definitely from a mental health point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something you could look into. And if anybody who you know, is something that wants to come to our launch party, then let us know. We can open up that conversation at the party in a fun, relaxed environment.
Yeah.
After we've had a couple of wines.
Yeah, 100%.
Although, you know, I'm not encouraging drugs or alcohol.
No.
Maybe that's
I
another
was
one.
going to say, well, there'll be some there if you want to, but I didn't mean the drugs. I'm not a dealer.
Just the alcohol. Actually, what we could do is we could get non-alcoholic versions of wine, and then you feel like you're drinking, but you're not, and you're trying to
I
be.
don't know about that.
You can have both.
We
isn't
could
it?
have both, yeah.
Yeah, a mixture with the
Yeah.
emphasis on non as
Yeah.
opposed to it's just like a toasting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that might be another good podcast, actually. How, you know, addiction and stuff.
Yeah, it would be. You know, if you want to come, I mean, again, it's not something that I'm,
No,
you
mate.
know, I've not actually not got anybody that I know either. I've not been impacted. But if you
Definitely
have
do.
been impacted, then
An addiction, I'm not just talking about drugs or alcohol, it can be gambling.
no, it can be anything,
yeah,
can't it?
an addiction to shopping, spending far too much money.
Oh, I have got a friend.
Is it shopping that said that?
Yeah.
But people
No,
don't.
they've told me that they literally, it's a male. He buys, even me and my dad have actually had this conversation. He buys things for that instant gratification
And then regrets it.
and then regrets it. And then a week later, you see him flogging all the stuff that he's
At
bought.
least he's selling
But
it
he's
to recoup the money.
he said he's got a problem. He can't help himself. He has to do it.
I think it's an addiction as well, stuff like that. But people, when you talk about addictions, people don't even think about, it's not even on the radar. Everybody thinks of the three main ones: drink, drugs, and gambling,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
They don't think that there's other types of addiction like spending
Mm.
and the amount of debt people can get into from spending money. Like you
Yeah.
say, instant gratification
Yeah.
from a nice dress. Do you watch Sort Your Life Out? That lady who it was a record on the programme for the amount of clothes that she had and
No.
she used. Like literally, it was scary how, like, because she'd been in I think an abusive relationship, and how her her therapy was to spend money to make herself feel better on clothes, and she had, I think, over like 5,000 items of
Wow.
clothing.
Wow.
Maybe slightly less, but yeah, it was a ridiculous amount. But also she was passing on a habit to her daughter, who was like learned behaviour.
Yeah, she'd like seen that and thought that was normal.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? You see, I'm quite good because I do get a kick out of like shopping, but I'm very good because I just like, my habit is add to basket,
But
but I don't actually buy it.
That's fair enough, isn't
But
it?
my dad always said to me, add to the basket, leave it 24 to 48 hours, and if you still feel that you really need it, then go back and maybe buy it, but give yourself that breathing. And it actually works.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong,
It won't work for everyone.
Everybody likes a bit of retail therapy.
Yeah.
It does make you feel better, but I think it's having boundaries, isn't it? And knowing when you can afford to do it and when you can't. And for some people, it does become an addiction.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a topic for another podcast.
Oh, do you know what else might be a really good podcast? If anybody's addicted to cosmetic procedures.
Yeah.
Because that's something I'm seeing more and more of.
And it's that fits into like mental health issues
Yeah.
and body dysmorphia, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't like what they're seeing and everything. So yeah, there's lots of topics we can discuss. I love how we're using this podcast to think up new topics.
It's all helpful.
and while we're on that,
that's my phone.
what that was
my phone.
Let's just ignore the phone and have a bit of background music.
Bit of Teddy Swims, we like a bit of Teddy Swims. Oh, I do.
Yeah. If it's like we've said before, it goes back to, if you can think of any subjects you would like us to discuss on this podcast, then please get in touch. You know, as you've heard, a wealth of subjects and topics come under mental health, physical illness, from addiction to gender identity. You know, we're happy to talk about it all and have an open conversation and find resources that we can send people to the right places.
Yeah, and send us your questions so we can do our question and answer session, because that would be really good.
Yeah, definitely be interesting to see people's questions.
You can either message the page, which is
the website is www.thesharingclub.co.org, or you can email us at info@thesharingclub.org.
Yeah,
and
or you can put it in comments even on the podcast. You know, if you've got
on the
questions,
YouTube page, Spotify, anywhere you can find a place to comment on our social media pages, whether it's the Sharing Club ones, whether it's Sally's Talk Group,
yeah, just pop the questions on and we'll make a note of them and then we can do a question and
Yeah.
answer. But anything goes.
Definitely.
In the topics, obviously, not just like what colour knickers are you wearing today, Nat? Because you know.
Would you like me to ask you that? No,
No, that's what I mean. Don't not questions like that. Maybe things that actually are to do with mental health or physical health or whatever. Not
Yeah.
just like something random.
Anything, you know, if it's anything about the life coaching we offer, how we can help with that, any concerns, whatever you don't feel, you know, it's a good way to, you know, we can answer any questions.
Yeah.
And on that note, this one's very short and sweet.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you like what you've heard or watched, don't forget to like and subscribe, help us grow the community so that we can help you.
Yeah. And please comment and share.
Yes, very important. And we will see you all next time.
Yeah.
Till then, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.